But Shogun Assassin, 1980. Now, I was trying to find it. What is that? Like 20, 40 years ago? Is that 40 years ago?
20, bro. 40. You're talking a whole lot, bro.
40, 44? 40, what are we at? 44 years? Bloody hell. I was looking for a movie to watch and I came across this and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen this in years. It's an adaptation of like Lone Wolf and Cub. Bro, it's fantastic.
1980. It came out in 1980. So yeah, it's 41 years old.
Yeah, bro. I mean, directed by Robert Hudson and then Kenji Misumi. And it's got, I think it's Tomisoburu Bura Wakayama. Anyway, bro, you can see where a lot of movies get their influence from when it comes to these like samurai movies and whatnot. But Kill Bill being one of them. But this is one of those movies
definitely.
where the choreographing was so cool and the action was so cool. It was like it was the ones where like the blood just like anime. It was literally
It was just splitting everywhere.
Done like an anime. It was so freaking cool. The choreographing and his character was just, and the dialogue in this movie was awesome. His character was amazing, just being a Shogun assassin for the Shogun, and the Shogun goes crazy, ends up killing his wife, and then he goes on this mission of him and his son, just kind of protecting his son, where the Shogun's sending constant ninjas and whatnot, and he's just taking them down. And I love the little boy narrating the movie was such a I don't know if that was one of those again one of those new things where you got a young kid narrating the movie and the young kid's talking about his father, the young kid's talking about how many heads he's chopped off, how many people he's killed, and he counting the numbers 343, 300. It's fantastic, man. And also, like, I feel like there was another scene which I loved was where his son was captured. And I feel like a lot of these movies, like be it Equalizer and Taken and whatnot, you know, there's that element of that special forces where they like, you know, where they're blindfolded and they can sense where they're going because they're hearing sort of things, or where they're counting. You know, in Equalizer where he's counting the minutes or the seconds. I feel like they got it from this movie. There was a scene where his father, the son was captured and he was over a well and they were holding him by a rope. And but the samurai discipline and whatnot was different level, man, because he was telling his son and he's already kind of like educated his son that this is our life. And he tells his son, you're gonna go. He basically tells his son, you're gonna go be with your mother now. Basically telling him you're gonna die, right? It's crazy again. Anyway, the son drops the slipper and he's counting the number of seconds it takes for the slipper to hit the water. So then he knows that's how much time he has to kill these dudes. He grabbed the rope, right? I feel like, I mean, again, there's so many movies that came out, but in the 1980s, I feel like this is one of those things that really set the stone of these like assassins and these well-trained assassins and whatnot. Because that was a scene like that. Even with his son earlier on in the movie, as a baby, I mean, it's crazy. As a baby, he made his son make the decision. Here's a ball, here's a sword. If you pick the ball, he's basically saying you're going to be, I think it's Haku where they killed it, the sacrifice themselves. He's like, this is a baby, bro, call it. If you pick the ball, you're going to join your mother in peace. If you pick the sword, you're going to join me, but our life's going to be hell. But you're going to be a warrior like me. So the sword, the boy obviously falls to the sword. He's a baby, doesn't know. But this is the sort of storytelling that this movie is showing us, and the Japanese shogun samurai kind of way of thinking, man.
That's right.
It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely amazing and fantastic, and the choreographing was amazing, bro. Just the way the blood does splatter was amazing. When he chops off some dude's head and the blood just goes, it's proper Fist of the North style, man. I mean, I think Fist of the North Star, in fact, might have came out after this. So I think it was influenced by that. It's amazing, bro. It's absolutely fantastic, man. And
it's a great movie, bro.
The character, the costume designs, but like Big Trouble in Little China, all of them. Obviously, it's all samurai attire and whatnot. But all that influence, man. I mean, it's all that influence. They look like Big Trouble, the characters from Big Trouble in Little China and all the other movies you see. Bro, man, going back and watching this movie again, it was one of those movies that I did not feel like, oh, do I have to really watch this? Like, or it wasn't a chore. It was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. This is amazing. This is cinema. For me, it felt like cinema history. I don't know if it goes down as one of those movies, but again, the storytelling, the cinematography is something I didn't speak on. The cinematography and the screen captures are beautiful, bro. The sceneries and the angles that they took, like when they're fighting and whatnot, in meadows, in waterfalls, in stuff like that, in the sand at the end, and just capturing that wide shot and just having the samurais, and even when they freeze at a moment of strike, you know what I mean? Like they're capturing art, they're capturing imagery. Like I feel like this movie was ahead of its time, or set the standards at that point, or broke a benchmark or something with all those sort of things, and it influenced so many movies to this day. It was absolutely fantastic, man. I really loved it from all angles. So great movie,
So
man. Shogun.
I haven't seen that in ages, bro, and I feel like that, as you said, that it's influenced so many movies, bro. But as you get the visual style, bro, the look of it, the blood, the way the violence was, but the way it was choreographed, but the decision making he gave to his kid, bro. You know what I mean? I don't even know how old we was when we watched that movie. Now thinking about it, because I know it's one of Sassa's favorite films.
I know, super violent. I don't know why
Super
we let us
violent,
watch it.
super violent, but it just showed us how cool cinema was, bro. And from that side of the world and respecting the culture and the way of Bushido and being a Ronin and all of that stuff, like that stuff resonates with us so well, bro, because it's just like amazing, bro. Like to this day, I bet that movie was a good watch. Like you really enjoyed it.
Oh, 100%. 100. And his characteristics and his he came across this as this guy who lost all emotions, right? The
Yeah.
kid is narrating his character. He is the assassin for the Shogun. So he killed hundreds of people. But when he comes home to his wife, he forgets about all of that. So again, the love of his wife, the love of his family, where he forgets that he's an assassin for the Shogun. But after his wife dies, he's still this stern dude, but then it's the love for his son. But he tries not to show that because he's already taught his son, and I think he's already built the discipline and the mind frame that this is the life that we're going to live. But there is the love for his son, the protection of his son. But he doesn't show that, but you can see it in his actions. Like he's very stern, he's very disciplined. This is the way, that's it. But you can see in his actions that he has to protect his son because his son made that decision in the beginning, and he had his love for his wife. It was even the acting was brilliant. I'm seriously, an 1980s movie. You might laugh at some of the dialogue, not dialogue, but some of the looks and whatnot. So the acting I thought was brilliant. I really have to say, man, it just looked cool, man. I remember Ibby, Young and Dangerous.
Yeah.
There was some dialogue that they took from that movie in one of their tunes and whatnot. This is one of those movies that where people, hip hop artists and whatnot would take dialogue away and sample it and whatnot. Oh man, such a cult classic movie, man. I hope it still gets the shine and the credit that it deserves, because for me, I feel like this is it's a cinema history movie. I just don't know if experts feel that way. In my opinion, though, falls into my cinema history greatest of all time movies.
No, bro, greatest of all time, 100%, without a doubt. I think it's one of those important movies, bro. Like it plays a big part in cinema, bro. The fact that animation and movies that we get now are taking that as inspiration, that proves it alone to be in cinema history, bro. That's amazing film in itself. I'll put it on my list to watch as well. I know I haven't been able to watch the movies as well, but I do remember them vividly, man. Sasa used to love that movie, and like he used to get scared not to tell dad that we've watched it as well. But even when we were older, when I did watch it in my early, I think when I was 18 or 20, I was like, man, this is insane, because then it made me look back at like stuff like Akira and Fist of the North Star, and it'd be like, that's where they're getting their inspiration from, which is absolutely amazing, bro.
Yeah,
Great,
I'm
great,
just reading.
great.
So this movie was banned in the UK, bro, from
Yes,
1983
that's
to
right.
2000. Yes, that's another thing.
That's right.
So that's, yeah. So I think that's something we knew about it, which is why it was getting so much back then we're just hearing, oh, this movie's so violent, it's getting banned and whatnot. So it was released by Vipco videotape label in 1983. Shogun Assassin, extreme violence almost caused it to be banned by Home Office. Oh, so it's almost caused. Anyway, Vipco played this for publicity in the cover art of the 2000 release on DVD. Okay, wait. So I don't know if it actually got banned. It says it almost got banned, but then Vipco used that though as publicity to say this got banned in the 80s, guys. Check this movie out. But I mean, it was very violent. Heads getting chopped off, arms getting chopped off, legs getting chopped off. Like, bro, bare things, man. Bro, it was like Fist of the North Star, chopping a man's head from this way, bro, with a samurai sword. The head just goes, and then the blood goes. That's like way from Fist of the North Star, bro. Like doing that sort of stuff. It's mad, some of the violence, man. It is crazy, but all of that looked freaking cool back then. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I know it won't work in an action movie now, but it looked so cool back then, the way they did it. Especially with, like I say, the cinematography of the scenery in the background. It just added that extra element. Like I say, the sunsets with the meadows and the wheats, and you know what I mean? You could say it's like a
No, of
Western
course,
movie as well.
the
That Western
visuals will
element.
always look on point, bro. That's why they take inspiration from all the samurai movies and stuff we get now because of that movie. You know what I mean? So
definitely. Cool, man.
definitely.
Guys, Shogun Assassin, 1980, guys, check it out. If you're into I don't even want to say martial art movies, but if you're into martial art movies, if you're into the whole samurai thing, if you're watching Shogun now, if you've seen Kill Bill and all those type of movies, you need to go watch this. Like, this is where they get the inspiration from. Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, check the description for the full podcast episode. And while you're at it, show some love and click that subscribe and like button.